All right. Welcome to everyone on YouTube. This is Kazakh Aliyahu Yasharal for Just a Word. You were saying something, Shamwa?
Yeah, what is that sound on the background?
Oh, there's a sound in the background?
Yes, better.
God, no.
Yes.
It was music?
It was like a stringy instrument.
That's what I wanted to come through for the reading of the Psalm. I
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
sure if it was coming through. All right. I'm happy.
Cool.
All right, let me get myself pinned. You sure I'm not pinned? All right. All right. Yeah, so welcome on Just a Word. Let me see if this thing is coming through. It's not working. All right. Yeah. Let me get it started. Oh, welcome everyone to Just a Word's weekly Shabbat teaching. Today we are going to look at Thousand-Year Reign Explained. All right, we are going to look at what our hope is, because for the past few weeks we have been hearing really hard teachings and teachings that really wake us up to repentance. And the Most High now is showing us why we need to go through all of this. What is the prize that awaits us? Why should we be making this this sacrifice? Yes. And I had set up this thing. Chat, oh, it's not working. Let me see if I can get it to work. Just give me a minute or a few. Let me get this thing. See if we can get the chat on our website working. All right. So yeah, bear with us, please. All right. Shalom, shalom to all those who are here with us. Yeah. Okay, let's get the. Oh, it's the same thing. It should be working. Oh, it's not. I don't see it working. Anyway, let's not let it hold up the show. Gotta go. We gotta go. Okay. So, where was it? Oh, I think I know what I might need to do. All right. Still not working, so here we go. All right, so about a couple days ago, I had a dream. Yeah, a couple days ago, I had a dream, and I saw the number 92 on a sheet, on a paper, like was on a page. And so I got up, and I said 92. So I checked and realized that in the Bible, only the Psalms, the book of Psalms, would have 92 in its chapters. And so, whoa, please mute your mics, please. Unless you are Shamuel, please mute your mic. Please mute your mics. All right? So, yeah. So as I was saying, saw 92. And then when I checked Psalm 92, I realized that it was a psalm for the Shabbat. So the Most High speaks in many ways. So realize that this was what the Ruach wants us to have for the Sabbath. So I'm going to read it. Psalm 92, verse 1. A psalm or song for the Sabbath day. It is a good thing to give thanks unto Yahuwah, and to sing praises unto thy name, O Most High. To show forth thy loving kindness in the morning, and thy faithfulness every night. Upon an instrument of 10 strings, and upon the psaltery, upon the harp with a solemn sound. For thou, Yahuwah, hast made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in the works of thy hands. O Yahuwah, how great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. A brutish man knoweth not, neither doth a fool understand this. When, when the wicked spring as the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. But thou, Yahuwah, art most high for evermore. For lo, thine enemies, O Yahuwah, for lo, thine enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn shalt thou exalt like the horn of an unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. Mine eye also shall see my desire on mine enemies, and mine ears shall hear my desire of the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of Yahuwah shall flourish in the courts of our allure. They shall bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing, to show that Yahuwah is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. Yada Yahuwah. Hallelujah. Praise his holy name. Okay, so that is where we are. Today, we are going to be looking at the 1,000-year reign explained. Very long. Don't know if we're going to be able to do it in one go, because there's so much to it. And I guess the Most High has given us the bits and pieces in different teachings, and it is a bringing together of the things that we have learned over all the time. It's like a total summary of end of term thesis, as it were, to bring together all that we have learned together, and to put everything in one piece. Someone had asked about the 1,000-year reign before, and I tell people that it is not I who choose the topics. It is the Most High who directs all the proceedings. So even if I wish to do it then, that would not be the time. Now is the time for us to do this. All right? So we're going to begin by looking at a few prophecies. Jeremiah, David, and Yeshayahu. Where are we? Yeah. Jeremiah, David, and Yeshayahu. Jeremiah 23, verse 1. Jeremiah 23, verse 1 to 8. Yea, Shamal.
All right. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture. All right. Let's start again.
Yeah.
Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith Yahuwah. Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah Allah of Yasharao, against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and
Hold on,
driven them away.
Shamal. Hold on, please. Can you he's unmuting his mic? Elisheba. Elisheba.
Yes, Matthew.
Nikrai is unmuting his mic. All right? And it's causing a disturbance. Hello?
Okay, so we're gonna activate.
Okay. All right, so let's go again. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Shamuel.
All right. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith Yahuwah. Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah Allah of Yasharah against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock, and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, saith Yahuwah.
So, over the past few days, while reading the Apocalypse of Paul, we saw the punishment for these pastors, and it is nothing good. Okay? Who have not fed his people and have led his people astray. Serious punishment coming in the afterlife for them. Verse 3.
And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries whither I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase.
So what we're gonna see a constant across all this that is happening. And that constant is that it's after the gathering that they will have the millennial reign. After the gathering. And we are showing that this is what is happening today. Fleeing out of the midst of Babylon. That is the prelude to the millennial reign. Verse 4, continue.
And I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed. Neither shall they be lacking, saith Yahuwah.
So before the millennial reign, the Most High is going to take his people from among these pastors who have led them astray. And we know for our experience, it is us coming out of Christianity and now being given teachers of Yahuwah's own heart who will lead his people in the right path. Okay? So they will not be lacking in their learning, in the truth. Verse 5.
Behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth.
All right. So, he will raise unto David a righteous branch. And in other places, the Old Testament only people say the prophecy is that David is going to come. So they are expecting exact David. All right, that is an error. It will be a branch. It will be of the seed of David, a descendant of David. So likewise, when it says Yahuwah is going to come on the earth, it is not Yahuwah is coming, it is his son Yahusha who is coming. Likewise, when it was prophesied that Elijah is going to come, Messiah said Elijah has already come, and he was speaking about John the Baptist. So we have to understand the languages of the scriptures and don't take it into our own language and a way of thinking. Okay? So when people come on the earth, and it is prophesied that people are going to come, they come in different ways, not as the exact person himself. Okay? So this righteous branch shall prosper and execute judgment and justice in the earth. So this has not yet happened because Hamashiach has not reigned and prospered and executed judgment and justice in the earth, because he only came to fulfill the first part of the gospel, and that part of the gospel was to bring the good tidings and to bring salvation to people, to be able to access the salvation, to give us the Ruach HaKadosh, the Holy Spirit, which is a down payment on our inheritance, until he comes and he executes judgment and justice in the earth. Verse 6.
In this Judah shall be saved, And
In his
Yasharal
days.
shall, in his days, Judah shall be saved, and Yasharal shall dwell safely. And this is his name whereby he shall be called Yahuwah, our righteousness.
Yahuwah, our righteousness. So in his days, Judah shall be saved and Yasharal shall dwell safely. Has this happened as yet, Shamuel?
No.
That has not happened as yet. This is the millennial reign that we're talking about. Verse 7.
Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, that they shall no more say, Yahuwah liveth, which brought up the children of Yasharal out of the land of Egypt.
Yes?
But Yahuwah liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Yasharal out of the north country, and from all countries whither I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land.
And that is the whole process right there. Before he comes, there's going to be a gathering similar to the gathering of bringing the children of Israel out of Egypt. So that's why precluding before the gathering, he tells his people to flee out of the midst of Babylon, because end time Babylon will be ruling the world before Hamashiach returns. So he tells his people, flee out of the midst of Babylon. And when they flee at the right time, he is going to gather them as he gathered them out of the land of Egypt. All right, so that was Jeremiah prophesying the 1,000-year reign. And let's go to Daud or David prophesying the 1,000-year reign. Tehillim 72, verse 1. Tehillim 72, verse 1. Read, please.
A psalm for Solomon. Give the king thy judgments, O Allur, and thy righteousness unto the king's son.
Yes.
He shall judge thy people with righteousness, and thy poor with judgment.
Continue.
The mountain shall bring peace to the people, and the little hills by righteousness. And he shall judge the poor of the people, and he shall save the children of the needy, and shall break in pieces the oppressor.
All right. So the poor, he shall judge the poor. Notice the word poor here being repeated. Judging the poor with righteousness. Judge the poor of the people. Save the children of the needy, and break in pieces the oppressors. This gives us a picture of the end time, his end time children being poor and needy and being under the hand of a rich oppressor. All right?
Yeah.
So picture the people in Israel who say they are the Israelites today. Picture them.
They are not poor.
Are they poor?
Nope.
Are they needy?
Nope.
But are they the oppressors?
Yes.
So you see, the script is flipped. So we just keep repeating how obvious it is that those people are, what you call them? They are not the people of the book.
Yeah.
All right? Continue.
So they shall fear thee as long as the sun and the moon endure throughout all generations. He shall come down like rain upon the mown grass, and as showers that water the earth. In his days shall the righteous flourish, and abundance of peace so long as the moon endureth. He shall have dominion also from the sea to sea, and from the river unto the ends of the earth.
This is a one world order, one world government under Hamashiach. Continue.
They that dwell in the wilderness shall bow before him, and his enemies shall lick the dust.
All right, so here it is now. They that dwell in the wilderness shall bow before him. Why do they say they that dwell in the wilderness, Shamuel?
You can say it.
All right, because before he comes,
Yes.
before he comes, his people will be in the wilderness.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
While his enemies are being defeated, his enemies shall lick the dust. All right?
Yeah.
So we're seeing the importance of the wilderness. Continue.
All right. The kings of Tashish and of the isles shall bring presents. The kings of Sheba and Seba shall offer gifts.
All right. So this is what do you call it? These are taxes, tolls, tributaries. These nations, all the nations of the earth shall be tributaries to him and shall bring gifts to him, just as the nations brought gifts to Shulamah or Solomon. Verse 11.
Yeah, all kings shall fall down before him, all nations shall serve him.
Mm-hmm.
For
Verse
he
12.
shall deliver the needy when he crieth, the poor also, and him that hath no helper.
You see this again?
Yeah,
You see this again?
yeah,
So when we are called to go into the wilderness, it is that we are going to be giving up our possessions. And if we are not there as yet, we are going to join the ranks of the needy, the poor, and those who have no helper.
yeah.
All right? That is what the wilderness will do to you. Because we have to be brought down to nothingness in order for us to be able to serve the Most High. Here again, verse 13.
He shall spare the poor and the needy, and shall save the souls of the needy.
How many times are we going to hear this?
Over and over and over.
So it is
Yeah.
for us. It is saying, Shamuel, it is for us to be brought down to here. This is where salvation is. And we're going to see later. Because my sister got a dream about the poor and everything. It's perfectly fitting in with what we are saying here today. We're going to look at it to the end. Because I didn't even realize that in this thing it had so much to do with the poor. And down to the very near end, we are going to talk about the poor again. Verse 14.
He shall redeem their soul from deceit and violence, and precious shall their blood be in his sight.
Oh, precious shall their blood be. So he shall redeem their soul from deceit.
Yeah.
From deceit. So, by thy sorceries were all nations deceived, right?
Yes.
So all the deception that is on the earth through Babylon, all of the tricks, yeah?
Yeah.
His soul is going to be saved from deceit. And Dwayne, did you raise your hand?
Sorry, that was accidental. Sorry.
Okay. And yeah, verse 15.
So just to add on to what you're saying, so the
Yeah.
importance of why we have to be set apart, we have to be in the wilderness,
Yes.
so that we can be saved from the deception that is all around in the cities in Babylon.
Yes. It's the deception and the violence.
The violence, yes.
Yeah, because remember, end time, it is prophesied about wars, rumors of wars, nations fighting against nations, etc.
Yeah.
Verse 15.
Verse 15, and he shall live, and to him shall be given of the gold of Sheba. Prayer also shall be made for him continually, and daily shall he be praised.
Yay. Continue.
There shall be an handful of corn in the earth upon the top of the mountains. The fruit thereof shall shake like Lebanon, and they of the city shall flourish like grass of the earth.
All right. Right. On a side note here, corn. Remember, there was something said about corn being indigenous to this side of the world, and that if corn is in the Bible, it means that it is speaking about this side of the world. But if you look at the meaning of corn, it is Bar, it is grain of any kind, even while standing in the field. By extension, the open country, corn, wheat. In the history of this, they use the word corn to mean grain. So the rightful word that should be here is a handful of grain. All right? So that is why you see corn in the Bible. It's not that the Bible was written for that side of the earth. It's just that the translation put in corn. And that corn as and that mistranslation. That's why we have to dig into everything. That mistranslation has many construed, thinking that over the Americas, where the corn originate, was where the Bible story took place. Just a side note. Verse 17.
His name shall endure forever. His name shall be continued as long as the sun, and men shall be blessed in him. All nations shall call him blessed.
Continue.
Blessed be Yahuwah Alua, the Alua of Yasharal, who only doeth wondrous things.
So we see here, Shamuel, that he is separate from the Father, isn't it?
Yes, totally.
Men shall barak him, and all nations shall call him Barak. Yeah?
Yeah.
And it is Yahuwah Alua who doeth all of these wonderful things. Verse 19.
And blessed be his glorious name forever, and let the whole earth be filled with his glory. So let it be, so let it be.
All right. So that was Dawood. So let's look at it now from the eyes of Yeshayahu. Yeshayahu 11, verse 1 to 16. Read, please.
And there shall come forth the rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots.
All right.
So
this is the family of David, Jesse, David's father. A branch shall go out of his roots. Verse 2.
And the spirit of Yahuwah shall rest upon him, the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and of the fear of Yahuwah.
All right. So this is the seventh. These are the seven Ruachoth, the seven spirits that will rest on Hamashiach when he returns. The Ruach of Yahuwah, which is called Holy Spirit or Ruach HaKadosh. First spirit, number 1. Number 2, wisdom. Number 3, understanding. Number 4, counsel. Number 5, might. Number 6, knowledge. And number 7, the fear of Yahuwah. And notice, all of these shall rest upon him and shall make him. Verse 3, read verse 3, please.
Verse 3, and shall make him a quick understanding in the fear of Yahuwah. And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, and neither reprove after the hearing of his ears.
But
with righteousness shall he judge the poor.
Judge who?
The poor.
You see the constant. Yeah? It's not a rich man thing.
It's going to be defending the poor. It would sound so unfair in that time.
So if we don't humble ourselves to the level of being poor, where is our defense? He's not saying with righteousness shall he judge everyone. It's just emphasizing the poor, the poor, the poor. It's a poor people thing. So all of us here who are watching this and feeling comfortable in this world and comfortable being in the world and going after Babylon's things and hey, it's salvation for the poor. Continue, bro.
It says, but with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with an equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked.
And reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. So it's the poor and humble. It's the poor and humble. But guess what? Babylon has programmed us to feel that if we are poor, we are a failure. So we do everything in our might to come out of poverty so that we can feel justified and feel comfortable in Babylon's system. Yes? And so that is why a whole lot of us are unwilling to let go of this world. Many of us are unwilling to sell out and move and give away and all of that because of the programming that's right there in the back of our minds. That's why last week's teaching is so important. And that is to renew our minds away from the programming of Babylon and into the word. And so the Most High is giving us his word. Let us look at it carefully. Notice how much the poor is repeated. Continue. Continue.
All right. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins.
Mm-hmm.
The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and the little child shall lead them.
All right, so a little peace that's going to be there. Much peace is going to be there. And we see that place that they call Israel. No peace. The other day we see them breaking out with Gaza. And no peace. These are imposters, people. And it says a little child shall lead them. And so that is why we, smart, wise, when a child speaks, we listen. All right?
Yeah.
When a child
Yeah.
speaks, we listen.
Mm.
Verse 7.
And the cow and the bear shall feed their young ones, shall feed. Their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox.
Continue.
And the sucking child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice den.
All right, so the time is going to be so peaceful there. Even the animals are going to be at shalom with us. Even the animals are going to be at peace. So these are the asp, that is a snake. Cockatrice is a snake, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they are dangerous snakes. And verse 9 says,
They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of Yahuwah, as the waters covered the sea.
wow, what a thing this is. This is some, no, when we hear the hard things, and then we hear these things, it makes us say, well, especially how we know about the resurrection of the dead. We know that if we even die, if we die in righteousness, this is what we are going to partake of. So much peace. Just imagine, we live in a world now where some places you cannot even sleep with your door open. Yeah? Or even with your window open in some places. And then this place of peace where nobody shall hurt at all. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain. Man, this is something to make a sacrifice for, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Go ahead.
And it's the Most High restoring the order back to what it was in the beginning.
Yes.
Which is where Adam was and what Adam was, the spirit man.
Exactly. Continue.
And in that day shall the root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people, to which shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious.
Oh, this is the root of Jesse. This is Yahushua HaMashiach. He shall stand for an ensign, a flag, a banner, an emblem, a sign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek. To his sign shall the Gentiles seek. And someone called me. I don't know if she's listening to this. June had called me and she gave me a dream. I don't remember exactly the dream, but the dream showed in the clouds the sign of the Son of Man. And that sign was the sign of a lion, the lion of the tribe of Judah. And it's very interesting, as it says, to it shall the Gentiles seek. To the lion of the tribe of Judah shall the Gentiles seek. So it's very important, interesting here, this ensign as always. From she gave me that dream. And in Matthew 24, it says, and then shall they see the sign of the Son of Man. What is that sign? That is the ensign. And when she gave it to me, she said she saw it in the clouds. That was before his coming. And then I'm wondering, wow, that probably is the sign of the coming, the sign that is in Matthew 24. So it's something I've kept in the back of my mind to see how it will play out, to see if we'll get any more words on it or any more scripture will show it up. All right, but just found it interesting to mention it. All right, verse 11.
And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahuwah shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea.
So here we get some of the places where its people are. Some of them are spiritual, some of them are physical. All right? So we know Assyria. We know United States is also spiritual Syria. United States is also spiritual Egypt. But his people are also still left physically in Assyria. Yeah. And Assyria is there. Assyria is where again? Iraq,
yeah.
Iraq, Syria, between Iraq and Syria, I think. Yeah. And from Mitzrayim, from Egypt, and from Patros. Patros is in Egypt, and we have Cush, the land of Cush, that is Ethiopia, Sudan, all of those places, right?
Yeah.
And Elam is in Iran. Yeah. Shinar is there in Assyria. That would be in Iraq, I think. And from Hamath, I don't remember where Hamath was. Okay? But yeah, our people are over in those places as well. So they will be recovered. Yeah, go ahead.
The seat of Shinar has also moved into Europe now. That's where the harlot is.
It's where?
I'm saying it's moved into Europe now, where the mother harlot sits. That's where Shinar is now currently.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes. So it's both physical and spiritual.
Yeah.
Yeah. Verse 12.
All right. And you forgot the last part, which gives up the last it exposes the false synagogue that they do. And from the islands of the sea, we know those who are in the islands, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, from the islands of the sea. So our people over here, we are in the islands over here. So let's continue.
All right, verse 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations and shall assemble the outcasts of Yasharal and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
And here, of course, it tells us all three sets of people who will be gathered. He shall set up an ensign for the nations. So he is, whenever he speaks about the nations, he never says he will gather the nations. I want us to look at it carefully. Has anyone ever said he's going to gather the nations to him? It always says he shall be a light to light the Gentiles. There should be an ensign for the nations. All right? Who is going to gather? He's going to gather the outcasts of Yasharal. This is the northern kingdom.
Yeah.
And gather together the dispersed of Yahuwah, the southern kingdom. So he's going to gather the northern and southern kingdom. But the nations are going to be attracted to him and are going to join themselves to his people when they are assembled together. Or before they are assembled together, so that when his people are assembled, they can be assembled with them. Right, Acts?
Yeah. Yeah.
Verse 13.
Verse 13. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim.
All right, so the enmity between the northern and southern kingdom will be gone when he returns. All right, verse 14.
But they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines towards the east, towards the west. They shall spoil them of the east together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them.
So his people are going to have total dominance over all the nations. Verse 15.
And Yahuwah shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea, and with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river, and shall smite it in the seven streams, and make men go over dry shod.
All right. And then verse 16.
And there shall be an highway for the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, like as it was to Yasharal in that day, in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt.
So the river is going to dry up so his people can walk, physically walk over. His poor and afflicted and needy people can actually walk over to be empowered. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, now Isaiah had another thing to say about the millennial kingdom. He had another thing to say about the millennial kingdom. The millennial kingdom and the worshippers of God. God worship and the millennial reign. Let's see what Yeshayahu has to say about this, about his people in the end, what they are going to be doing in the end that is going to so anger the Most High. And we have the whole world is worshiping God at this time in some shape or form. They worship God. As we said, it's a culmination of several of our teachings together. So some of the things you'll see here, we have different videos on them. I might not go into detail with them because we have other videos with them that can go more into more detail. We've spoken about the God worship in several videos. We've done a video on why it's suicide to worship God, and another one, the God deception and the JC deception, all of those things. All right, so let's go. Verse 1.
I am sought of them that ask not for me. I am found of them that sought me not. I said, behold me, unto a nation that was not called by my name.
All right, so that's what's happening in the end. That's Isaiah 65 coming near the end. He's telling you that he is going to reach out his call. He's going to call the Gentiles, the other nations, to him because his people would not take heed. And so he's going to call, because the whole idea of the Most High is for every mankind to be saved. All right? Some people believe, oh, it's Israel alone. He only cares about Israel. No, he cares about Israel because Israel is to be a light to draw the other nations to him. Israel is to be the source, the beacon, the priests, the teachers, the leaders who are going to draw the other nations to him. Okay? Verse 2.
I have spread out my hands all the day unto a rebellious people, which walketh in a way that was not good, after their own thoughts. A people that provoketh me to anger continually to my face, that sacrificeth in gardens and burneth incense upon altars of brick.
All right, so the Most High set apart a people, but these people have been rebellious to him. So he said, you know what? You've been so rebellious to me. I'm going to make you jealous with a people. And so he called the Gentiles to him in order to provoke them to jealousy. Continue.
Which remain among the graves and the lodge in the monuments, which eat swine's flesh, and broth of abominable things is in their vessels.
Okay, so we have a religion today, Shamuel, that says we can now eat swine's flesh.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. All you do is you pray over it and it's clean and you can eat it. Yeah.
Ah. And near the end of Isaiah, he's telling you about how abominable it is. Verse 5.
Which say, stand by thyself, come not near to me, for I am holier than thou. These are a smoke in my nose, a fire that burneth all the day.
All right, so among these pork eaters, they have their churches, they call things like Holiness. Holiness Church of God, or Church of God in Holiness. And isn't that so?
Yes.
So they
Yes.
say, I am holier than thou. So they call their churches Holiness.
Holiness ministries.
Yes. And yet still they do what?
They
They
eat swine's flesh.
So they
Yep.
fulfill this prophecy.
Yep.
Come not near to me, for I am holier than thou. He says, these are a smoke in my nose.
The wrath of Yahuwah is on them. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you see. Man, I'm telling you. Anyway, continue.
Behold, it is written before me, I will not keep silence, but will recompense, even recompense into their bosom. Wow.
All right. And you can't reach these people. If we could just reach these people, if they would just listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why it's important to prove all things, hold fast that which is good.
That is why the apostles say to them, we are not an Old Testament believing church. We are only a New Testament.
Yes.
You know, so they can keep them in sin, awaiting the wrath, the fury of the Most High. Yeah.
Yes.
It's very sad. It's very sad. It is very sad.
Right. Someone is saying something?
Yeah, Brother Pedro.
El Pedro.
Yeah. I just wanted to comment a bit on what Brother Samuel is saying. People are saying that we are of the New Testament. We had a serious issue here in regards to this, because when we look at the New Testament from the book of Acts, then we have letters to the Romans, to the Corinthians, and the rest of them. But none of these are written to the people in Cush. Let's say in today's language, there is no letter to the people in Africa. Why? Because Africa, or Yeshua, let's say, they already had the Torah. Now, they came with ways and means in order to confuse the people, which is why the Bible has become debatable. There is no substance in most cases in what people read in the Bible because of lack of understanding. So therefore, people have decided to call the New Testament their guide, and yet there's no guide. The guide is in the Torah. Instructions are in the Torah. Now, when they say that we are now under the New Testament, it means that they are no longer under the Torah, and the Torah was given to Yeshua. So therefore, there's a confusion when it comes to the issue of the New Testament. With those who believe the New Testament is claimed to be holier than thou. Shalom.
Yeah, and then the word says, one law shall be to you and to the
Exactly.
stranger that sojourns among you. So there is no getting over the Torah. You can't get around it.
Exactly.
Yep. Read from 6 into 7 again. No, Shamuel, please.
All right. Behold, it is written before me, I will not keep silence, but will recompense, even recompense into their bosom, your iniquities and the iniquities of your fathers together, saith Yahuwah, which have burned incense upon the mountains and blasphemed me upon the hills. Therefore will I measure their former work into their bosom.
Oh, man. You see what he's saying here? This is why we have the prayer slot. Forgiveness of the sins of our fathers. What he's saying here, Because you have been given the word of truth and you have not changed, you continue in the same way of your fathers. I am going to recompense you for your iniquities, and I'm going to pile on and measure the iniquities of your fathers and pile that onto you.
And that's heavy. That's a double whammy. Wes.
Double whammy. So that is why we remember the sins of our fathers, so we do not do them.
Yeah.
So they do not. That's why we pray against the sins of our fathers. This is what we pray against, the sins of our fathers coming onto us. Anyway.
Whoa.
Continue.
All right. Thus saith Yahuwah. Thus saith thus saith Yahuwah. As a new wine is found in the cluster, and one saith, destroy it not, for a blessing is in it. So will I do for my servants' sake, that I may not destroy them all.
Ah, so it's a remnant. It's a remnant. Okay? Verse 9.
Yeah. And I will sorry, as you're saying a remnant, right? It just struck me that still many don't understand what a remnant looks like.
Yeah.
And just today, just this morning, the Most High was just pressed on my mind concerning saying that Babylon being destroyed in this time, in the latter times, will be the same as in Abraham's time when Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed.
Yes.
So if we want to understand this remnant story, please visit that story and have a look at what Abraham was trying to negotiate. All right. Now, a picture, just so we can have some form of a picture, something to relate to this remnant story. How many people plus minus do we think will be living in a city? How many people do you think plus minus live in a city?
How many people what?
How many people can we estimate to live in a city?
Wow.
Depending on the site, should be 2 million, 3 million.
All right.
Depending on the size of the city.
So let's be the West. Let's be the West. Let's put it in a West scenario, West case scenario, right? Let's be good. Let's be the good people. Let's say in that city, it is filled with 2,000 people. 1 million is too much. Let's say 2,000 people. Now, Abraham started negotiating from 50. Pay attention. 50 out of 2,000. What is the percentage? If you know your maths, what would be a percentage? If you want to put it on a percentile scale, what would that be? And still, Yahuwah couldn't find. Yahuwah says, I would spare the whole city if I find 50. And then it happened that 50 people weren't righteous in that whole city. Now it went all the way down to 10, and still there was no one. There weren't that many people. And this is a city we are talking about, and we are putting worst case scenarios, and we are being favorable to say, let's assume it's 2,000 people. Whereas we know a city can be more than, it can be about at least maybe 100, 200,000 people can easily be in a city. So if 10 people cannot be found in Sodom and Gomorrah, then what about these times in the latter times when it's prophesied that the men shall be lavish of every vile, every wickedness you can imagine will be in Babylon. What about these times in our cities where we have over millions of people dwelling in them? So this is exactly what the Most High is doing. If you want to understand what remnant looks like, how many people were saved out of Sodom and Gomorrah? Because Yahusha emphasizes, says, in that day it shall be better for who? For Sodom and Gomorrah and for Tyre and Sidon. And these were the most wicked of the wicked cities. Now, in this time, we know that sin, darkness, we're not talking about light. There's darkness all over the earth. The cities are filled with everything to do with self-worship. Every abominable thing is in the cities. And the cities has nothing less than 1 million people. So if we're talking percentile, if one person was saved out of one person and his family, that is, even his wife fell away. So it was him and his 2 children. So 3 people came out of a city of 2,000 people. We are just doing worst case scenarios. How many people do you think the Most High is likely to pull out in our times within these cities? Do you understand why it's so difficult for people to flee out of Babylon? because they are so attached, they are so engrossed in the sin. They love the sin so much they cannot come out of it. And this is how you know that many people are going to be destroyed, because Yahuwah has done it over and over, and there is nothing new under the sun. Shalom.
Yes, sir. Nothing new under the sun, that I may not destroy them all. And that's why he tells us to come out of the midst of Babylon, flee out of the midst of Babylon. And why Hamashiach said in Luke 21:34-36, to watch and pray that you may be accounted worthy to escape or to flee. So it's only those who are worthy are going to be able to flee. That is the remnant. Verse 9.
Verse 9. And I will bring forth a seed out of Jacob, and out of Judah an inheritor of my mountains, and mine elect shall inherit it, and my servants shall dwell there.
Millennial reign again.
Yeah.
Millennial reign. This is the millennial reign. A seed out of Jacob, and out of Yehudah an inheritor of my mountains. My elect shall inherit it, and my servants shall dwell there. This is our hope, people. This is our hope. All right? That is why we have to be willing to give up everything here in this life. Go ahead. You were saying something?
No. Go ahead now.
Yeah, that's why we have to be willing to give up on everything, because this is our hope. And it does not matter if we even die. Remember, what was his name? That rapper. Get rich or die trying.
50 cents.
Yeah, 50 cents.
Wasn't it Tupac? It's Tupac.
No, it was 50
No,
cents.
50 cents. 50 cents.
Oh,
Okay.
Brother Pedro, you must keep up with the times, man. Come
man,
on.
I'm lost, bro. I'm lost, bro.
Get rich or die trying. We have to die attaining unto the kingdom, because we have the resurrection of the dead to look forward to. So even if we die trying for righteousness, we have nothing to lose. When 50 cents dies trying, he's going to have to face his maker. And he's going to have to give an account of why he did all those evil in order to get rich. But when we face our maker, dying for righteousness' sake, then we will get a crown of splendor for what we have done. So we have nothing to lose in striving after righteousness. We shall dwell there. The meek shall inherit the earth. Verse 10.
And Sharon shall be a fold of flocks, and the valley of Achor a place for the heads to lie down in, for my people that have sought me.
All right. For my people, for my people that have sought me. Shamuel, you see that? This is very, very important. For my people that have sought me. Why is it so important for us? Blindness in part has happened to Yasharal until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. Yeah. We have to know who we are. And when we know who we are, we know what our circumstances are. We know that we are under the curses. Now, when we know we are under the curses, we know Deuteronomy 28, 64 and 36 tells us that we shall be sold unto our enemies and to serve gods that our fathers never knew.
Yeah.
So when we find out that we are serving gods that our fathers never knew, now we have to now seek the true and mighty one, the true father of them all. We cannot sit in the religions that the oppressors gave us and keep calling JC and God and the LORD that they gave us. We have to know that these are the names that they gave us that are false. So now we seek the Most High. How many people have really sought the Most High over and over to try to get to perfection, to get to know Him perfectly? Not many people, because when we wake up, we are still calling Him God and the LORD. But here's what He says to us in verse 11. These are those who will not partake in the millennial kingdom. Verse 11.
But ye are they that forsake Yahuwah, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for that troop, and that furnish the drink offering unto that number.
Hey, this here wraps up. This is Christianity and Islam wrapped up together. This is where most of our people are today. Most of our people are in Christianity and in Islam. We forsake Yahuwah that forget my holy mountain. What is his holy mountain? Zion. Mount Zion.
Zion. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So we forget Zion. And what do? We follow a religion that diverts away from Zion and diverts towards a rapture. Or for the Muslims, it diverts towards Mecca, worshipping around a cube that has a stone inside, something shaping like a vagina.
Yeah.
So we forsake Yahuwah. We forget all about Zion, about the promises of Zion and the way of Zion and his Torah. So forgetting his holy mountains, the Christians, they forget his holy mountains. You don't want to tell them. They don't want to hear anything about who they are. Oh, that's carnal. We don't, I hate to hear it. Father, help me. They don't want to know anything about Zion. They are satisfied with those people who say they are Jews and are not. When you tell them that they are the Israelites, the true Israelites, they don't want to hear it. What do? They forget his holy mountain and prepare a table for that troop. Now, that troop word here is in the Bible only once. Let me just quickly go through it. It's in the Bible only once. Let's go. Oh, I didn't pin it. Let's pin. All right. So this verse 11, that troop is in the Bible only once. And H1409, and that H1409 is God. And how is it pronounced, Shamuel?
God.
God. You are those who worship God. From H1464 in the sense of distributing fortune. There is a God called fortune or chance. And that is why on the back of the United States money, because the United States, notice it occurs only once.
Yes.
That is why on the back of the United States money, it says, in God we trust. We were all deceived into thinking that this God in which we trust was the Most High. Up to this day, almost everyone is deceived. But these Freemasons who established the United States, they are Satanists, Luciferians. If you look at the layout of Washington, D.C., all of the symbolism in all how the things are laid out, you'll see it is from the occult. It is from Freemasonry. So these Freemasons trust in God. Why do we think the United States became the richest, most powerful nation in the world? Eh? Apart from the fact that the Most High allowed them, they trust in Satan. They trust in God. Satan manifests himself as chance, or G-A-W-D, written as God. When the preachers are preaching, when the other Christian preachers are preaching, and God, that's it. That's who they praise.
Yeah. And it's the very same God that is referred to as Mammon.
Yes. Yes.
The God of fortune.
Yes.
The God of fortune is Mammon.
Yes. All right. So, let's go back to it. But ye are they that forsake Yahuwah, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for God, and that furnish the drink offering unto that number there is many, and many is the moon goddess, and that is why Islam worships the moon. If you notice on almost all the Islamic flags, you have a moon. Everything about Islam is a moon. All right? So that is where our people are caught up, in the worship of God and in the worship of the moon, who they call Allah.
Yeah. And
So
Allah, sorry, bro. Allah is
yes,
also the same as God. They all come from the Sumerian deities, which
yes,
goes back to Inanna. That is the one they have created many names for. Anyway, you can continue.
yeah, yeah. All right. So let's see what the judgment is for these people. Verse 12.
Therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not.
Okay. If you ever know how many God worshippers that I have been trying to speak to over the years, I can speak for myself. I know other people will have the same experience. How many God worshippers I've been trying to speak to over the years. And then when it came to the time of the mark of the beast, they went ahead and willingly took it. How many of them took it? Yes? Because he says, I will number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. So he did not protect most of these God worshippers. They were exposed. Because when I called, you did not answer. When he sent us out to speak to them and say, okay, he is not God. This is who he is. We were deceived. This is this. This is that. What did they do? They did not hear.
They did not hear. They rebelled. They resisted, and they cast us and chased us out of their synagogues.
All right. So that is their judgment. Continue.
Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah Allah, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed.
Continue.
Behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit.
So who are these servants? The poor and the
Afflicted.
poor and the needy and the afflicted. Yes?
Yeah.
So because we were hungry, yes, we shall no more be hungry. People, we have to make up our minds to reach to a point of nothingness, of lowness, in order to be lifted up, truly lifted up in this world. If we are not at that point, then we have no good thing coming for us. Verse 15.
And ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen. For Yahuwah Allah shall slay thee and call his servants by another name.
Hey, stop. What shall he do?
He shall slay thee and call his servants by another name. Yeah.
Man, these God worshippers, he shall slay thee. And that is why so many, as I said, have taken the mark of the beast, because destruction is coming upon them. Let's continue.
That he who blesseth himself in the earth shall bless himself in Allah of truth, in the Allah of truth. And he that sweareth in the earth shall swear by the Allah of truth, because the former troubles are forgotten, and because they are hid from mine eyes.
The former troubles are forgotten, because his people, poor and afflicted, will no more be poor and afflicted. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Wow, we just started, and it's so long. All right, millennial kingdom. Let's go deeper now. The millennial kingdom and the fourth kingdom we have in Daniel. How the millennial reign correlates with the fourth kingdom, fourth and final kingdom of man. Daniel 2:40 to 45. All right, go ahead.
All right. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise.
All right. The fourth kingdom as strong as iron. So, the fourth kingdom on this earth is going to be literally as strong as iron, because it is a one world kingdom. I'm telling you, it's so beautiful to see the scriptures coming together. I don't know. It says, Emunah cometh from hearing, and hearing by the word. The more you hear the word and watch the world and match up the world with the word, the more you believe. And the more you believe, the more you're willing to give up everything for what is to come. And this is how you know and have belief in that which is to come, because everything is just being proven. Because the dream of Nebuchadnezzar told us about this image that contained all the major kingdoms in the world. And all the kingdoms in the world will come into one, and Hamashiach will come and with a stone tear down the entire kingdom. And we have today being amassed in this earth a new world order, a one world kingdom, a kingdom in which all the nations of the earth, literally all of them, have come together, united in one through the United Nations, united in one kingdom, leading people to what they call the fourth industrial revolution. And the Daniel statue was about 4 different kingdoms coming into one. So when you hear fourth kingdom, and this kingdom is now finally the strongest kingdom that has ever lived, you see why it is of iron. And why is it the strongest kingdom? Not in terms of unity, but in terms of it is the first. Every single nation in the earth, every single one, is coming together, united under one leadership. First in the history of the world. Yeah, there has never been a history of the world where nations have voluntarily gone under the leadership, one unitary leadership. And so that is why it is as strong as iron. But it's going to be mixed with clay. And this has dual meanings. Verse 41.
And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay, and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay.
All right, so this prophecy has dual meanings, because the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, it means that it is made up of strong nations and other smaller nations who might not be a part of the core. And if we get the understanding of the beast, from the mark of the beast, of who the beast is, and we did a teaching on, we have a teaching on that on justaword.org. Who is the beast of Revelation 13, I think that's the name. It has it in detail, breaks down the beast. And when you see who the beast is, what the beast is, you'll see that the beast is strong, and it is kind of separate from other nations, but the other nations are with it. So it makes it partially strong and partially weak. But there's another aspect to it as well, which has to do with the mark of the beast, in which there is iron and the clay being the human body, and the iron being the to the P, to the H, to the E, to the N, to the E that they are using in these substances. You have to talk because these people will do their thing. Yeah, that thing that they have in it, using it to bond us to them, to their system. And that is also very interesting. And yeah, and someone shared with me a more detailed research into this G to the R to the A to the P to the H to the N to the E recently, very detailed. The person is listening to that. Wow, that's well laid out and all of that to show us this thing is definitely the mark of the beast. And when you know who the beast is, then you'll know what his mark is. Verse 42.
And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of man, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay.
All right? Mingle themselves with the seed of men in two ways. Mingle themselves with the different nations coming together, and also mingling themselves in terms of the same thing that they put in our bodies as well. So, remember, we're talking about the millennial reign, right? Verse 43. No, is it? No, 44, right?
Yeah. Yep. And in the days of these kings shall the Yahuwah of Shamayim set up a kingdom, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
All right, Shamuel, what is the significance of the kingdom not being left to other people?
What is the significance? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think context so I can shoot it right there to your context. The symbology in this, I would say, is because the righteous seed, the king will arise out of the righteous seed, who knows what righteousness is, in order to judge the earth in righteousness, because the heathens do worship these fallen entities as spirits, because the Most High has appointed spirits unto them. So it cannot be, just as he said in Deuteronomy, that you shall not appoint unto yourselves any stranger. Any stranger shall not rule over you.
Yes.
That one from amongst your own shall be the one to always rule. You need a ruler from amongst your people.
That's it.
So that's it, yeah.
So it will be Yasharal that is ruling. It will not be left up to any other nations.
Yeah.
So even when Gentiles join themselves to Yasharal, they will not be the ones who are ruling. It shall consume all these kingdoms, the different kingdoms of these earth, and it shall stand forever. Yasharal, forever. 45.
For as much as thou sawest the stone, that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold. The great Yahuwah hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure.
All right, so this is it. It's sure. Hamashiach is going to come back to destroy these nations. Okay. So where do we go next? Let me get this off here. All right. So let's look at the prophecy of the end time beast kingdom before the return of Hamashiach. Daniel 7, 1 to 27. Get this on. There's so much to this millennial kingdom, but I chose what I think best. Read, please.
In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the psalm of the martyrs. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the Shamayim strove upon the great sea, and 4 great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another.
All
The
right,
first
so we
was-
know beast. We know beast here refers to powerful nations upon the earth,
Yeah,
and the sea refers to the people.
people, yeah.
All right, 4 great beasts, different from one another. Verse 4.
The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it.
All right, that's the first one.
And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh.
All right, and this appears to be Babylon. First lion, Babylon.
Mm.
And the second one, Medo Persians. And then the third.
After this I
Yes.
beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it.
All right, and this is the Greek kingdom. And Babylon is the only one among these who is not so prevalent today, and you wonder how it manifested itself, is the Medo Persian kingdom. Babylon, we are still living in Babylon. All right? The Greeks still have their power in this world over us. Still with their sororities, even in the United States, we are prominent in the universities. They have their sororities, their deceptive sororities that they use to give us worship to their Greek gods. The Romans actually are the ones ruling this world today, which is the next one. The 4th beast, verse 7.
Verse 7. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns.
So, this is the Roman kingdom. This is how powerful this Roman kingdom was. So powerful it conquered most of Europe, Northern Africa, Western Asia. Great powerful kingdom, to the point. After that, the papacy, Holy Roman Empire, the papacy ruled, made up of the Romans. After that, the Romans mixed in with the Edomites, with Edom, and the Edomites spread, the Romans spread throughout Western Europe. Bam, the United States, made up of the descendants of the Romans, Edomites, ruling the world indirectly through the United States. So this is why this 4th beast is so powerful. And it is this 4th beast, the Roman Empire, that has brought together all of the different nations in the world to come together behind them in one nation. All right? Let me see if I can. Yeah, 9.
I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, right? And his wheels as burning fire.
All right? So the hair of his head like the pure wool. So, we have a people who have hair on their heads like the pure wool. And these people have been deceived into hating their hair and rejecting the hair on their heads and wanting to have hairs that are not like wool. Can you imagine how Satan is deceptive?
Bro, Satan is Satan, you undermine Satan, Satan beguiles you. That's the thing.
Yes.
Many people undermine Satan. They think Satan is so dumb because by the end of the day, when Satan is done with you, you will call good evil and evil good.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about Satan is upside down.
Yep.
So when you see the beautiful cities, what do? You must know there's something suspicious about it. You must run the other direction. Yep. So, I mean, how do you hate your own hair? You were born with it. It's not like you actually asked to be given. It's not something you choose. You were given. And so it should tell you that there's something normal about it because it's natural and everything natural is good. But now you are told that the natural things are what? Are ridiculous. Hence, now we no longer believe in natural herbal medicines. We believe in what? Synthetic medicine. That is what Satan does. Satan would tune you by the time. So please do not undermine the adversary. You need to know your adversary in order to overcome this adversary. All right. Shalom.
So we are told that the Most High's here is like ours, like the pure wool. How can we detest? If we detest our hair, we detest the Most High.
Yes.
So women processing their hair and putting on wigs, men putting in what they call them, wave creams, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's an abomination.
Yeah.
All right. Verse 10.
Big time. Big time. Most High hates artificial stuff. Anything artificial, Yahuwah hates.
Yep.
Yeah. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 10 times. Let me start again. Wow, it's quite a lot of numbers. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened.
Continue.
I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake, I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed, and given to the burning flame.
All right. So the judgment was set. Now we're going to look at this first judgment, the first of two judgments in the end. So the horn, which was leading the beast, spake great powerful words. But the beast is going to be slain and his body destroyed. Verse 12.
As concerning the rest of the beast, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time, which is a millennial reign. Yay.
Yeah.
They must serve.
All right. Verse 13.
All right. I saw in the night vision, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of Shamayim, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him.
All right.
And
so we see it's two separate people here again, right?
Now it doesn't get clearer than this, brother. It doesn't get clearer. This is very clear. He was brought before Yahuwah. He was not Yahuwah.
Yeah. Continue.
And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed.
Now, people, don't we want to partake of this? This is why we are going through so much pain, and I have to be willing to be even down to the standard of the poor and needy, to give up everything in this world. He shall be given a dominion and splendor and a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and it pass away, and his kingdom which shall not be destroyed. Continue.
I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. I came near unto one of them that stood by, and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me, and made me know the interpretation of these things, of the things. These great beasts, which are four kings which shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever.
This is our hope, people, to be among the saints who shall take the kingdom and possess it forever. Continue.
As if forever wasn't long enough, it adds again, even forever and ever.
And ever.
All right, 19. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet.
This is the end time New World Order kingdom. Go ahead.
Right? And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and the mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows.
So
I
this
beheld-
obviously is speaking about the leader of this end time New World Order kingdom. Verse 21.
Verse 21. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them.
Oh. So, if the horn is being allowed to make war with the saints and to prevail with the saints, now we know the times. Why do we wish to stay among the horn? To stay among these people? Shamuel, can you answer that for me, please?
Why would we prefer to stay amongst them rather than flee?
Yes.
It's because we are rebellious and we love their ways equally as they love it.
El Pedro was saying something.
No.
Okay. Verse 22.
Until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom.
All right. So judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. So the Most High allowed them to have their way.
Yeah.
Until judgment was given to the saints
Of the Most High.
And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. So we have to go through this dislocation, this time of trouble, the time of Jacob's trouble. We have to go through that time of Jacob's trouble. But as the word said in Jeremiah 30, he shall be saved out of it until judgment is given to us and we will possess the kingdom. Verse 23.
Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces.
All right, so what in this now? Shamuel, look at this verse and tell me what in it lets us know that we are at exactly in this time.
It says,
Tell him.
all right.
Me talk to him.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the fourth beast is an indication that we are in the fourth kingdom. We are in the final and the latter part of the kingdoms, because the fourth beast is the fourth kingdom, which they call the fourth industrial revolution.
All right.
Yeah.
That is how you know. The fourth industrial revolution. That is the time that we are in. The fourth kingdom that is upon earth.
And in case someone is asking, how do you guys know it? You should go to the WEF webpage and you will find somebody called Klaus Schwab. And you will hear him repeat that over and over so that you can match it up to prophecy.
Yes. And exactly what they're doing in their fourth kingdom as well. Their weapon is something injected in us that they say will merge your physical, digital, and biological identities. And we can't go into it anymore, but we know what we know and what we can see. We see. So the fourth beast is the fourth kingdom upon earth. This is the fourth beast. 24. Read, please.
And then 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings.
All right. So here's what's happening now. The 10 horns are 10 kings that shall arise. So it is not something that is clear cut as yet. They have in their early plans, they had the world organized into 10 districts. So the wonder is, I wonder if the 10 kings will be the 10 leaders of each district. And this final kingdom is heavily based in Europe. So it is expected that probably looking at it from the other side of the coin, there's 10 nations in Europe that will be at the head of the New World Order. But it is not clear cut. So that is why you won't hear me teaching on this until if something is revealed that is really clear cut and shows it, the 10 horns, all right? All right, because this is an evolving prophecy, and the errors that we made at the beginning, when we started learning these things and going into prophecy, we thought that everything was already manifested and easy to see, and it would be easy. No. We would not know what the beast was until we were in this time. It is now that it is being manifested. So we shall see some things manifested that we did not know. Go ahead, Shamuel. You're saying something?
No. I was just listening to what you said. Yeah.
25.
All right, 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time.
No, people had said that this was referring to the papacy of the attempts to change times by giving us the Julian calendar. Then they gave us the Gregorian calendar and to change the times. But this is speaking of this end time leader of this beast system. Yeah? In whose hands power will be given for a time, 1 year, times 2 years, this 3 years in all, and a dividing of time, which is half a year. 3.5 years, it shall be given in his hand. And if we go to Revelation 13, we hear about the beast. And we're going to match it up right now with Revelation 13. Let's go to 27 first.
And the kingdom and dominion, and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole Shamayin shall be given to the people.
You didn't do 26.
Okay, but the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it unto the end.
Yes.
And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole Shamayin shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey
him. So this is our hope in these end time, people. This is our hope. Okay? So what we are going to look at now, we are going to look at this dream that we just got in Daniel 7 and match it up with Revelation 13, the mark of the beast. Daniel 7 and the mark of the beast. Revelation 13. All right, let's go. Read, please.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
All right. If you check out the teaching that we did on our website, and we have done several videos about the 7 heads. We also have a video on the Kazakh Aliyahu channel about the beast of 7 heads, the beast of Revelation 13. And we won't go into detail with it because we've done it extensively before. If you need more details into the 7 heads of the beast, which are the G7 nations, United States, United Kingdom, France, Italy, Germany, United Kingdom, and Japan. These are the 7 heads of the 7 heads of the beast. And the beast which I saw,
And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority.
so this fourth beast here matches the book of Daniel, which tells us about the leopard, the bear, and the lion. And these are all of them now coming together in this New World Order kingdom, end time, fourth kingdom. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority, which means Satan is the one that is ahead of this New World Order. Continue verse 3.
And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast.
What is the head that was wounded to death and the deadly wound healed?
It was the
That is-
division. Okay, go ahead. Okay, I thought maybe you were asking me.
That is Rome,
Yeah.
in the form of the country today called Italy. The Roman Empire and the Holy Roman Empire, they were, what would you say now? Their power was kind of cut, and it would appear that Italy was just another little country in the world. But the heart of it, Rome, the Vatican, which is the second beast that we're going to look at, and Rome, Italy coming together at the head as one of the 7 heads of the beast. That is one of the deadly heads whose wound was healed. All right, that is what I believe. Verse 4.
And I saw one of his heads, verse 4. And they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?
All right, in the teaching that we have on the mark of the beast, we showed that the beast is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, the group called NATO, a group of 30 countries who have come together, the greatest military alliance in the history of the world, who is able to make war. This tells you plainly that it is NATO. Why?
Yeah.
The 7 heads of the beast are allies with NATO. Not only allies, but the 7 heads of the beast, 6 major, Japan in the background. These are they who are leading NATO. So if you notice, when you're getting reports about the war in Ukraine, and the people from the side of the United States were speaking, you heard speeches from, you heard United States speaking, you heard United Kingdom speaking about it, that Johnson person speaking in the forefront as if they were the leaders. You heard Macron from France speaking. You heard the German man, what his name is again? He was also speaking. These people are the leaders, the 7 heads. And NATO has been said to be the greatest military alliance in the history of the world. Never before have they had such a strong alliance, which is why you get, who is able to make war with him? Everyone is saying, yo, you can't have a war with NATO and beat him. And notice, if you just say, who can make war with him, that is worshipping the beast.
Worship. Yes. Yes.
So
worship.
previously, people were looking for there to be a beast rising up out of the sea, and people bowing down and worshipping that beast. And on the other hand, people were looking at the beast as a nation, but they were looking for the nation to set up something that people would bow down and worship, not knowing that just saying, who is like unto the beast? There's nobody like NATO. Who is able to make war with NATO? Nobody can beat them.
Nobody.
So we see that the beast is a war machine. It has to be a war machine that is so powerful everybody in this world is going to feel that that war machine is unbeatable. All right?
Yep.
Verse 5.
And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemous, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months.
How long?
42 months.
So for 3.5 years, and that was the same time in the book of Daniel. All right? Times and a half time. That is 42 months or 3.5 years. So this matches up with the time. So when it says it was given to him to change times and laws, previously, as we said before, they thought that it meant when the Roman Catholics changed it. Probably as a dual meaning, but this one in the end is only going to have 3.5 months, 3.5 years in order to do their things. And they are going to change up every single thing. That's why we are coming in this order in which they are telling us that you are not going to have anything and you're going to be happy. So in doing their thing, they are going to take total charge, and we have not yet seen or known the things that they are going to change up. But they're going to change up a whole lot of things in order to take away everything from us and let us have nothing and to be their slaves. Continue.
And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against Yahuwah to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in Shamaim.
All right. Is it the ascension of Isaiah tells us about this anti-Messiah that is going to come? That's going to be the enemy of the Most High. And he's going to come and he's going to fool most of the world. Very few people will not be fooled by him. So when he comes, he's going to open his mouth in blasphemy against Yahuwah. This will be the leader of the New World Order. This is going to be the leader of this New World Order. That will be your anti-Messiah. What they call anti-Messiah. All right?
Yeah.
Verse 7.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations.
All right? And this is it. And it says this in the book of Daniel, didn't it? That the saints shall be given into his hands. So it was given unto him to make war with the saints, which is why in the ascension of Isaiah, it says the end time saints will be wandering in deserts. Wandering in deserts, because these people will have total dominion over us. We will have no real protection except the Most High will preserve us as we go. Yeah? So we're telling you, when it says flee from the midst of Babylon, we think it's a choice. It's not a choice. It is the time that we're living. We are at the time of the end, and it calls for things that have never been done before in our modern time. And that is for us to become pilgrims and nomads until Hamashiach returns. Verse 8.
And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world.
So this is the anti-Messiah that the Apostle Shaul also spoke about in 2 Thessalonians 2, 9 to 11. The coming of the lawless one with all signs and powers and lying wonders. In the book of the Ascension of Isaiah, again, it also told us about the lying wonders that he's going to come with and fool almost everyone. And here it says, all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him. So the dream shifted from the beast itself being of the kingdoms and now has shifted into the leader of this kingdom. All that dwell upon the earth shall worship him. So only those who are set apart, only those who are counted worthy to flee will not worship this beast. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth, verse 10.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Again, we are at the end times, and it is time for all those people who have afflicted the Israelites The descendants, remember we're speaking about the sins of our fathers? The people all over who have afflicted us, the descendants of Edom, in the different nations where you are located, who have over time afflicted our people. The descendants of Ishmael, the Arabs, who have also afflicted our people and brought our people into captivity in the Arab slave trade. You must go into captivity. And go into captivity doesn't mean that the Messiah is going to come and bind you and say, go into captivity. Going into captivity is voluntary. All right? And we thank Eliana for this one. Most High works in mysterious ways. When she came with her dream and what she understood from her dream, which stirred me up to go and search for what shall go mean. And shall go is G5217. G5217, which is hupago, from G5259 and 71, to lead oneself under. So what is it saying? To lead oneself under. What is it saying? You have to voluntarily go into captivity. At this time, the Gentiles have to voluntarily go into captivity, which means they have to join themselves to Yasharal with the mindset of serving the children of Yasharal, who they brought into captivity and who their parents, their forefathers, killed with the sword. And it says in the end time, here is the patience and the emunah of the saints, which means the saints will have patience and emunah, while those Edomites who brought us into captivity join themselves unto us. All right? And we have the second beast now. This is why we said the deadly wound was healed, because the second beast is the religion of Christianity headquartered in the Vatican. And the Christians will say, oh, Catholics, that's Catholicism. It's different. No, it's not different. On our website, we have about 21 different things that Christianity got from Catholicism. It's not different. It is Satan's deception. Satan separates in order to deceive. So that is why he gave you 40,000 Christian denominations. That's what he gave us. Why? Everyone thinks they are right. Everyone believes they are right. And so, if we believe that something about our belief is not right, then what do? We go to another denomination. So many people, when the Sabbath came to them, the first place they think about going is to where? Seventh-day Adventists. And you cannot tell the Seventh-day Adventists anything. They believe that they are totally right. Because now they have the Sabbath and they have a little other truth. They keep the dietary laws. Oh, you can't speak to them. But that is still deception. That's how Satan works. So he doesn't call Catholicism Christianity, but it's literally the same thing. Because almost everything that they had, they got it from them. So the Catholics were ruling the world at once through the papacy, through Europe, ruling Europe at once through the papacy at one time, and then through the Holy Roman Empire, an empire in which the church validated the rulers of the nation, the kings of the nations. So, like the greatest ruler of the Holy Roman Empire, I think, was Charlemagne of France. He was the most well-known. And he was appointed by the Pope. And that's how they did it. The Pope would validate and crown the emperor who will rule from the kingdom. And we know this is the same thing that happens today in Revelation 13. The first beast is the kingdoms of the earth, and the second beast is religion, through which Satan gets worship of the to give power to the kingdoms of the earth. So the second beast, read please, Revelation 13:11.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
Oh wow, Shamuel, your voice has changed.
It's a miracle. It's a gathering.
Yes. So there's another beast coming out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb. Don't want to get into these. We did 2 videos showing the 2 horns. About the 2 horns being possibly what's it called, Judaism and Christianity, and another looking at the possibility of it being the 2 arms of Christianity, Protestantism and Catholicism. And because we are here to prove all things and hold fast that which is good, we're not going to tell people, okay, it is this and it is that, when there are 2 disparities that have not yet been cleared up. So we tell people the 2 possible things that we think that they are. So if you want to say, oh, we don't know, I'll tell you, we are learning. Blindness in part has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. We don't tell you that we know anything. We tell you that we are learning and our eyes are opening. So when it is clear to us, we'll tell you exactly which one it is. All right, go ahead. Verse 12.
And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed.
All right, if you know the power of the Pope, whenever all these world leaders are crowned, they go and visit the Pope. It's like the greatest thing. They have a certain type of power over the nations. All of these world leaders go and bow before the Pope. Why do they have to bow before the Pope? You have to bow before Satan's authority, because Satan has given authority. This papacy, this is the seat of the beast. And you have to bow your allegiance to the seat of the beast. And in turn, the beast causes the earth to worship the first beast, to worship the kingdom of the earth. All right? Verse 13.
And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from Shamayin on the earth in the sight of men.
All right? So it's prophesied that the leader of the world order will be able to do all sorts of miracles and to deceive men. All right? So don't know if this will pertain to him. And as we said, it is developing. We are right in that time, and we have not seen everything yet. So, you know, that they should make an image. Continue, please.
And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, and did live.
And this image of the beast here, there are varying interpretations of it as well. That the image, some say the image is the image of JC, and some say that there'll be a future image that will be made that people will be obligated to worship. But as we said, worship does not only entail bowing down to a particular thing. It can mean looking to something for help as the only source of help. Okay? So, with the mark of the beast injection that has been given, it has been given to us by the beast. So, if we take that mark of the beast thing, thinking that it is the only thing can help us, because many people, you heard them say, when you speak to them about it, they said, so what are we going to do? It's the only thing that can help us. That is worship of the beast. So when you take it, you worship the beast. Okay?
Yes.
Verse 15.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
All right, so there's going to be an ultimatum in the end that he's given power over the saints. There's going to come a time, and the time has not come in the end as yet, when we are going to be threatened if you don't worship this or whatever it is. You are going to be killed, because these people are setting up the power over the earth little by little, increment by increment, taking away our rights little by little. And they are soon going to reach to the point where if we don't do certain things, then we will be killed. Verse 16.
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
And notice he says he causeth. When someone
Yes.
causes you, he sets up the situations where you might think that you don't have no other choice. What are we going to do? We have to work. We have to do this. All right? How many times have we heard people talking to people, and you speak to them and they say, oh, well, I took it. They say, why? I have to work. I have to travel. I have to. He caused it all. And we have something that has come upon the earth that fits this to the T. And I was saying earlier, this, oh boy, we did a look into the mark and the word mark, which comes from the Greek word charagma with a base word grapho. And as I was telling you, someone did a detailed look at the iron-based G to the R to the A to the P to the H to the E to the N to the E, and looked at the word mark and how it correlated to it, and each meaning of mark, how it correlated with this thing that people put in their arm, and it is very remarkable. Might have to put the PDF out there so people, I'd have to make it a PDF download so people can see this iron that is prophesied in Daniel and how it manifests itself today in this thing that they're forced to put in our arms. All right? Verse 17.
And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
All right, so it is there is going to come a time with this thing that they're putting in. As we say, it's a developing prophecy. It's not cut and done. They say, but we know and see everything that is shaping up. There's going to come a time where they're going to need a B to the A to the C passport. And if you don't have that, you cannot buy nor sell. You will have to be up to date with your punctures, with the different punctures that you get. And when you're up to date with your punctures, then you will be able to get that passport. So you won't be able to buy and sell eventually with it, because a lot of people are saying, well, it is not it. I can still buy and sell. I'm like, whoa, come on, people. This is a developing prophecy. And this is where we go wrong, trying to solve every single thing before it develops or before it is revealed to us. Because that is what Christianity does. Let me tell you something. Christianity has spoiled us because they gave us a theological schools. And the policy of the theological schools is that the pastor knows everything. So guess what? Every single prophecy in scripture, the pastor has to have an answer. He cannot say, this one has not been revealed to me as yet. No, he has to have an answer. So every single thing they break down and form some form of theology of it. Yes? But some things have not yet been manifested. All right? But we can know how they will be manifested some of the times, not all of the times. And so verse 18 says,
Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 600 threescore and 6.
Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast. It is the number of a man, and his number is 600 threescore and 6. And this word here is from the Greek word z stigma. Z stigma, which can translate to Christ on a cross. We have different teachings that explains this and goes into detail with this. For the sake of time, we not go into it. And that Christ on the cross, of course, is what the Catholics use when they lead through their processions. And so the cross that is with Christianity, the religion of Christianity, love that cross, that wooden cross. That is the sign of, that is the number of the beast, Christ on a cross. All right, so that is Daniel 7 matching up. So we see we are in the end time. We are in the end time. Okay? So it is prophesied that the mark of the beast, where are we? Wow, we are way behind. Mark of the beast before Messiah's return. Revelation 16:10 to 16. So much of this is what we have heard before, but we're gonna get into more eye openers coming up. Revelation 16:10.
And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues for pain.
They gnawed their tongues for pain. This is the end time mark of the beast. We just want to put the time frame to let us show that the Messiah is coming back soon after this mark of the beast vax that people took, because this swords that came upon them, it says, and we see it today in what they call the M to the O to the N to the K to the E to the Y, POX. Let's go there. Verse 1.
And
To
I
two.
heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, Go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of Yahuwah upon the earth.
Continue.
And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image.
All right, so we're trying to tell people that this thing is the mark of the beast for sure. Preceding the return of the Hamashiach. This is the M to the O to the N to the K to the E to the Y. POX, a noisome and grievous sore came upon the men. I read something the other day, and the person wrote that they have not known anyone, that it has not been shown that anyone who got this pox did not get the vax. So he's saying that the vax is directly correlated to the people who are getting this pox. So we get down to here, and this will be the pox with the fifth angel here. Read, please.
And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues for pain.
All right, for pain, because of the pox. Go ahead.
And blasphemed Yahuwah, the Yahuwah of Shamayin, because of their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds.
All right, so they're reached to a point. They're gonna reach to a point where they're not repenting of their deeds. And let me tell you something. This is what is evident today. Even with people who have taken this thing, when you talk up to them about it, Almost all of them, they don't care about repenting. They just want to carry on with life. They repented not of their deeds. So even when they are in pain, they are not going to repent of it. Verse 12.
And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared.
Continue.
And I saw great unclean ruachs like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet.
All right, so for the ways of the kings of the east may be prepared, and they're going to be prepared to come over and to fight against Yahushua HaMashiach. So we're telling you that we are in the last few years of the end time. Verse 14.
For they are the ruachs of devils, working miracles which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of Yahuwah Almighty.
All right, so to gather them together. So we see right in the time of this mark of the beast and this pox monkey thing, yeah, HaMashiach, they are going to be to, and people will tell you that the great river Euphrates is indeed drying up. It is indeed drying up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. Okay? All right. So where are we now? So, the way of the nations will be prepared for HaMashiach to come and fight against the nations, fight against the fourth kingdom, this nation, this world kingdom being amassed together. So the battle is not ours, it is Yahuwah's. That is why in the end time, people are asking about getting firearms and getting all of that. No, the battle is not ours. It is Yahuwah's. Yahusha is going to come, and he is the one who is going to deal with these people. Okay? So let me get this thing off. Yes, so Yahusha is going to come. He is going to deal with these nations, and we go to the book of Zechariah 14, verses 1 to 21, and see how that will go. So the Euphrates will dry up, the ways of the kings of the east will be prepared, HaMashiach will come. Zechariah, what did I say?
Zechariah 14, verse
14,
1.
okay. Jonah, you all right? You all right? Gosh. All right. Go ahead, please.
Behold, the day of Yahuwah cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee.
Mm-hmm.
For I will gather all nations against Yahushalom to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city.
Uh-huh. Go
Then
ahead.
shall Yahuwah go forth and fight against those nations, as when he fought in the day of battle.
All right. So there will be attack against his people. All right. And before he returns. Because today, that place called Jerusalem, I don't know about you, but I'm not sure if that is Jerusalem anyway. Even if it
I
is
also
Jerusalem.
have my own doubts.
Yes, I'm not sure at all. And it's from the fact that these people were wanted to set up their Israel in different places before they came to that location. It's very interesting.
Mm.
If you were sure that that place is Jerusalem, why did you want to set it up in Central Africa and in South Africa? Why?
Yes. Why? Yes.
All right. So it says, Yahuwah shall go forth and fight against those nations as when he fought in the day of battle. Here again, we were speaking about how the Bible language, when he fought in the day of battle, what was this speaking about? This was when Yahusha or Joshua fought against the Amorites and the sun and the moon stood still. Yes?
Yes.
It did not mean that Yahuwah was here physically himself fighting. But the language is that Yahuwah himself was fighting because he was helping and fighting with the people. But it was not literally him that was here. So when he says Yahuwah shall go forth, he's going to go forth in the person of Yahushua HaMashiach to fight against them. As he fought for Joshua back in the days against the Amorites. Verse 4.
And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Yahushalom on the east. And the Mount of Olives shall clave in the midst thereof towards the east and towards the west. And there shall be a very great valley, and half of the mountain shall remove towards the north, and half of it towards the south.
So when the kings of the east are make their way across the Euphrates, this is what is going to happen. There is going to be a great battle, because look at the beast. Look at NATO. Look how powerful they are. How many nuclear weapons they have. Hamashiach is going to have to come with such great power in order to overcome these nations. But he says, let's continue.
And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azal. Yea, ye shall flee like as ye fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, king of Yehudah. And Yahuwah, my Aloha, shall come, and all the saints with thee.
He shall come in the person of Yahushua HaMashiach, and all the saints will be coming with him. We're going to look at that more as well. Verse 6, continue.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the light shall not be clear nor dark. But it shall be one day which shall be known to Yahuwah, not day nor night, but it shall come to pass that at evening time it shall be light.
Continue.
And it shall be in that day that living waters shall go out from Yahushalom, half of them towards the former sea, and half of them towards the hinder sea. In summer and in winter shall it be.
Continue.
And Yahuwah shall be king over all the earth. In that day shall there be one Yahuwah, and his name one.
One. Continue.
All the land shall be turned as a plain from Geba to Ramon, south of Yahushalom, and it shall be lifted up and inhabited in their place, from Benjamin's gate unto the place of the first gate, unto the corner gate, and from the tower of Hananiel unto the king's wine presses.
All right. So, and verse 11 tells us, and this is our hope. Again, give us the hope. Give us the hope now, Ephraim.
And man shall dwell in it, and there shall be no more utter destruction, for Yahushalom shall be safely inhabited.
All right. Verse 12.
And this shall be the plague wherewith Yahuwah will smite all the people that have fought against Yahushalom. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
All right. So that is a similitude of a nuclear. It sounds like a nuclear thing.
Yes.
Verse 13.
And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from Yahuwah shall be among them, and they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor.
So there's gonna be confusion, and they're gonna start fighting one another. This we see happening in the book of Judges. I think it was with Gideon. Yeah.
Yes.
They turned on this and they fought against one another. It's gonna happen again. 14.
And Yehudah also shall fight at Yahushalom, and the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered together, gold, silver, and apparel in great abundance.
Yes, so all the riches shall come together, just as in the days of old when the spoil was taken by the children of Yasharal. Go ahead.
And so shall be the plague of the horse, of the mule, of the camel, and of the ass, and of all the beasts that shall be in these tents, as this plague.
Continue.
And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Yahushalom shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, Yahuwah of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
So they are going to be defeated by Hamashiach. So every one of them that came against Hamashiach, when he stood on the Mount of Olives, there's going to be a remnant from the nations. Not all of them will be killed. There's going to be a remnant from the nations. And they will have to go and keep the Feast of Tabernacles. Now, we tell people about the Feast of Tabernacles, about the Feast of the Most High, and they tell you that we don't have to keep the feast. So we ask people if we are to keep it in the future. It was kept in the past, and we can keep it in the present. Why do we not keep it? Oh, yeah. All right, and verse 17.
And it shall be that whoso will not come up at all, that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Yahushalom to worship the King, Yahuwah of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain.
No rain. So punishment for not keeping the feast in the future. So, if it was not important to keep the feast, why would the Most High withhold rain from these nations? Verse 18.
And if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague wherewith Yahuwah will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
19.
This shall be the punishment of Egypt, and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
So a very important thing to understand here, that even when Hamashiach is here ruling the world, the nations of this earth will not be totally subservient to the Most High, which is why the Most High says, I will choose of them for priests. So there will be priests who will be teaching these people the ways of Yahuwah just the same. They will still not be 100%, what would he say? 100% subservient to the Most High. Verse 20.
In that day shall there be upon the bells of the horses holiness unto Yahuwah, and the pots in Yahuwah's house shall be like the bowls before the altar. Yea,
Continue.
every pot in Yahushalom and in Yehuda shall be holiness unto Yahuwah of hosts, and all they that sacrifice shall come and take of them, and seethe therein. And in that day there shall be no more the Canaanite in the house of Yahuwah of hosts.
All right, so we have a couple interesting things here. All right? And what first interesting thing is there will be sacrifice again. All right? And why will there be sacrifice? Yahushua Mashiach is now here with us. All right? He's now here on the earth with us. So there's going to be sacrifice again. One thing. And the other thing is that people are saying it does not matter who you are. It's about nations to the very end. So to the very end, it says, there shall be no more the Canaanite in the house of Yahuwah Sabaoth. So a nation here is being excluded. So we would think that, okay, no more nations. Everybody's now one. No. Even in the time to come, the Canaanite is being excluded. Very important to know. All right?
Yeah.
So let's see where the 1,000-year reign of Hamashiach is. Satan bound for 1,000 years. Revelation 21-6. What's that? Read, please.
And I saw an angel come down from Shamaim, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent which is the devil, and Hasatan, and bound him 1,000 years.
1,000 years. So in the reign of the 1,000 years, Hasatan will be bound, put aside, of no effect. And he will be put aside until after the 1,000 years. And after the 1,000 years, he's going to come again and do his thing. Cannot change. Verse 2.
And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent which is the devil, and Hasatan, and bound him 1,000 years,
All
and
right.
cast him.
Yeah, go ahead.
And cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season.
So hear this now. This is what is going to be taken away from the world. The deception.
Deception.
So the nations that are remaining, they are going to be taught the truth of the Most High without any deception. But in the end, after the 1,000-year reign comes and Satan comes again, these people are going to follow Satan again and turn against the Most High. And not only that, the deception is going to be taken away, and yet still we see that some of them will not come up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles and will have to be punished. And it brings us to Psalms 96, verse 5. And we're going to see this verse apply itself again. We're going to see this verse apply itself again for us soon. Psalm 96, verse 5. The reason for that, read please.
For all the gods of the nations are idols, but Yahuwah made the heavens.
And this one now. Match that with this one. Read please.
Hath a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods, but my people have changed their splendor for that which doth not profit.
So the nations will not and do not change their gods. And they worship idols and not Yahuwah. So that is why it's going to be very difficult for them to drop their old ways. Where am I?
Wow.
Oh, all right. Trying to get back to where I was. Revelation 20, yeah. So that's why it's going to be difficult for them to drop their ways in the end. And where was I?
We were at verse 4.
4.
Yes.
Verse 4.
And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahusha, and for the word of Aloha, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads, or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years.
So here we see the correlation between the mark of the beast and the 1,000-year reign. And we know we are in the time of the mark of the beast. We are at that time of the end. And this is why we have to now be willing to give up everything, because we are at the time of the end. All right?
Yes.
So, judgment was given unto them. This is a judgment in Revelation 7, where it says the Ancient of Days did sit, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. This is it right here. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. Judgment was given unto the saints. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded. So you see, it is a giving up. Many souls were beheaded for the witness of Yahusha before, and many will be in the end. Because these people are making their, what you call it, their camps. It is said that in the camps, even in the US, that they are making, that there are guillotines that are being made to behead people. And we see the word telling us that in the end, people will be, the saints will be persecuted. So the saints will be persecuted for the witness of Yahusha and for the word of Yahuwah, and which had not worshipped the beast. So these people will be hunted by the beast. Even those, some of those people fleeing will be hunted by the beast, and would have to actually give up their lives for the witness of Yahusha. So this is where we need to be. We need to be to the point where we're actually willing and ready to give up our lives, because if we see the great reward, it says they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years. All right? So they did not worship the beast, they did not worship his image, they did not receive his mark upon his forehead or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years. People, stay away from the beast, all right? We know what the beast is. Anything we see coming through the United Nations for people, anything we see coming from the 7 heads of the beast, because they have deceived us into thinking that they care about us and they are looking out for us. They are only there to deceive us. All right? So it is those who are willing to give up their lives that will reign with Hamashiach for the 1,000 years. So if you are not at the point where you're willing to give up your life for the witness of Yahusha, then that's it. But there is also going to be another set of people who are accounted worthy to flee as well, who will be of Yahusha. Verse 5. So whichever way you take it, we are at the time where salvation is no, what should I say? It's not a stroll in the park. Salvation is not a, all right, it's over there. All right, go. I take a hold on it. That's
No.
It is going to be a sacrifice, self-sacrifice. As Mashiach sacrificed himself, are we willing to sacrifice ourselves? Verse 5.
But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection.
So, if we were not willing to be up here, to be persecuted and go through the persecution, all right, we are not going to partake in the first resurrection. Simple.
Yes.
Verse 6.
Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power, but they shall be priests of Yahuwah and of Hamashiach, and shall reign with him 1,000 years.
You see?
Yeah.
The second death will have no power over them. So from you take part in the first resurrection, that's eternal life there for you. All right? So they were slain. So this is the resurrection of the dead, which we spoke about yesterday on the radio. That very all-important part of our walk that most people ignore because we just are concentrating on this life. These people would have resurrection from the dead, and then they would be living forever. So most of us concentrate on preserving our lives in this world and not concentrating on giving up our lives in this world for the world to come. But those who are willing to give up their lives in this world will have everlasting life on them when Hamashiach returns. All right? So, next, we have the return of Hamashiach and the resurrection of the dead. What time is it? How much time is gone? We might not be able to finish this today. Well, whoa, 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 whoa. All right. How much time is gone? Let me check the. How much time is gone? 2 hours and what? 2 hours and 47 minutes. Whoa. All right, if we are 2 hours and 47 minutes, that means, let me see. We'll probably have to have a part 2. All right. We'll probably have to have a part 2. No, probably should we do it today? Yes, we probably have to do it today. It's a Shabbat, we'll do it today. All right. So, what time is it? Oh, it's really 2 hours and 47 minutes. All right, so here's what we will do. Family. We will. All right, so here's what we will do. We will split this into parts 1 and 2, and we will be coming back for in a few for the part 2, because we cannot have a video this long. We need to split it up, parts 1 and 2. All right, so all right, until next time, this is Kazak Eliyahu Yasharal. We will be back in not a few minutes, but probably a half an hour or so. We'll have a talk with our family in the chat, and then we will get back to it. All right. So look out for part 2 of this 1,000-year reign explained. All right. All right.